Why do homepages get so much attention in the design process, even though they're proven to be terrible at converting visitors into customers? I want to show you the secret weapon pages you should be focusing on instead. Hey guys, Wes McDowell here from The Deep End, and in this video I want to show you where the bulk of your attention should go on your website. What I'm talking about are conversion-focused landing pages. Now there's a lot of confusion around exactly what a landing page is and how it's different from your homepage, so let's clear that up first of all. Most businesses assume that their homepage is how everybody has to find their website, but the truth is any page on your website can be an entry point into your business. And the more you can tailor those individual pages to a specific person or a specific product or service, the better it's going to work. In short, that is what a landing page is all about. It's meant to be specifically about one product or service or offer and move visitors toward a specific action, like calling you, filling out a form, or making a purchase. On the flip side of that, a homepage is terrible at completing conversions because it just isn't focused. It usually has to multitask and represent everything you offer. For instance, let's say you own an accounting firm and you handle bookkeeping and tax prep and financial reporting. And to further complicate things, you work with private individuals and you work with businesses too. With all those services, your homepage is trying to speak to a lot of needs and a lot of people.
But what if you had a page for bookkeeping, and one for tax prep for individuals, and one for businesses? And what if each of those were written and laid out specifically for your ideal customer in each category? Wouldn't you rather each of those pages be your customer's entry point into your site rather than just coming to the more generic homepage? Yes, you absolutely do, because when that happens in your customer's mind, you go from being a generalist who may be able to help them to a specialist in exactly what your customer wants. And as a small business owner, would you rather hire someone who specializes in your exact situation as a small business, who knows the ins and outs of that, or someone who handles everything? You want the small business guy, right? So right now, I want to help you develop the landing page strategy that's going to do that for you. But before we get there, I want to give you two examples of how landing pages can work. First, let's take a look at Palms and Associates. They're an insurance broker and they offer a lot of different services. And when we researched all the keyword phrases they could be found for in internet searches, we found that there were quite a few services they offered that lots of people were actually searching for in Google every month. So we developed a simple landing page strategy for them, which laid out the top 10 service pages that would make the most sense to include based on how profitable each service is, and also how many people were searching for that service. From there, it was just a matter of putting some persuasive writing on each page with the help of a good copywriter and using the most relevant keywords within the text on the pages. Using those keywords on the pages helps Google find the most relevant page for people. So now, when someone searches for, say, risk management, they won't be taken to the general homepage, which just talks about everything in general terms, but rather it goes to the page that's specifically about risk management and speaks to those concerns directly, which is just a much better user experience for that customer and much more persuasive too. As you can imagine, they get quite a few more consults booked as a result of closely matching their content to what the visitor's looking for, because based on this one page, they really appear to specialize in risk management, when in reality they actually specialize in many, many areas. And here's another example about how landing pages might actually be more customer focused rather than on specific products or services. We recently wrapped up a project with Casio. They sell very high-end salon shears. It's pretty niche. And during discovery with them, we found out that while all their shears are on the higher end price-wise, Some were much higher priced than the others. So we learned that these premium models were almost exclusively purchased by more senior stylists in their late 30s and up, and the more base level models were almost always bought by more junior level stylists, usually in their 20s. So the landing pages we created for them each went after one of those markets. One for senior stylists with messaging related to their expertise and status, and the other for the juniors with messaging geared more toward, building their future with a shear they can use forever. Not only was the messaging different, but the products we chose to feature on each page were different too. The seniors were shown the more expensive models, while the juniors got the more entry-level shears shown to them. And they've been seeing pretty incredible results from these two landing pages. They each convert to sales about 3 times as much as the more general homepage, which is actually laid out in a very similar way. It looks the same, but it has to speak to everybody. So now that you know why landing pages should be the focus of your next site, let's talk about what needs to go into a successful landing page. Now, obviously, the specifics are going to change based on your offer and your audience, but generally speaking, every landing page should include a few key elements. And each one of those elements should work together to reinforce your offer and make an airtight case for it. You'll want to include conversion-focused sales copy that tells your customer what they need to know or believe before they'll take action. Remember, we defined that in the last section, and this is why. So next, you'll introduce your offer. Then you need to take all those objections you came up with in the last section, all the reasons why your customers might say no, and address each one. This works best if it's naturally worked in somewhere. You can do this in a video or in an FAQ section, for instance. For example, let's say you're a dentist and you know that people are staying away because they're afraid of the pain involved. You could make a really quick video just using your smartphone where you talk about the cutting edge pain-free methods you use. So you're basically treating that objection like a myth that you can bust. Or if it were a price objection, you could have a whole little mini section on the page devoted to the payment plans that you offer. And ideally, you also want to include some reviews or testimonials right here on the landing page as well. It's one thing to talk about yourself in glowing terms on your website, but it hits much harder and it's much more believable when it's one of your customers doing it for you. And here's another pro tip. Get at least one video testimonial or review if you can. There's just an authenticity in video that written text can't duplicate. So if you can get someone on video, a former customer or a current customer, who's genuinely excited about what you did for them, that excitement will be infectious and inspire others to take you up on your offer as well. And of course, all of this content is meant to drive one specific action or conversion. So what is that action you want people to take based on your landing pages? Do you want them to pick up the phone and call you? Do you want them to schedule a consultation or appointment? Or if you're an e-commerce store, do you want them to actually buy right then and there? Whatever that action is, I want you to put it front and center. Don't be shy. There needs to be a big, bold button that takes them to the next step, whatever that next step is. And that button needs to stand out from every other element on the page. And most web designers totally understand this, but just make sure you let them know that you want a true landing page structure with a single call to action.
Okay guys, I hope this has given you some great ideas for what to focus on your own landing pages. And for more tips like these, just subscribe to our channel right down here. And if you'd like to speak with me to see what I can do about getting you set up with a new strategy-based website, just go to thedeependdesign.com. I'm Wes McDowell with The Deep End. See you next time.